Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the We Digital Production Studio. We would like to thank all of you in attendance here and those viewing on the We Digital YouTube channel. It's an exciting day for us here as we announce the return of the Windsor-Essex Sports Person of the Year Awards, the WESPYs, after a 2-year hiatus. This will be the 16th annual ceremony, and as in years past, the WESPY Awards look forward to be highlighting many accomplishments of our teams and athletes from season to season. The awards also bring together the best sports community in our country, Windsor-Essex. The date of the WESPY Awards will be Wednesday, April the 26th, 2023. The Kubota Club will once again be the home of the WESPY Awards. The WESPYs will grow again this year, as we are pleased to announce the creation of the Officials Award. As well, we are honored to be renaming the Swimming Award, making it the Kylie Moss Swimming Award. As always, the naming of our keynote guest, is a major part of the ceremony. At our first ceremony, we tapped into the sport of baseball, and we welcomed Pete Rose as a speaker. This year, we go back to the sport of baseball, and we are honored to announce the appointment of a 4-time World Series champion and former Detroit Tiger pitching ace, Mr. Jack Morris, as our keynote guest. And we're very, very fortunate to have the ace himself, Jack Morris, on the line. May I call you Jack?
That's what I've been called most of my life.
Along with a few other things, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
We're really looking forward to seeing you, meeting you, and hearing your stories from a long career, 4-time World Series champion, kind of a local boy. It's funny here in Windsor, and I'm only imagining you've been to Windsor several times, but Windsor sort of thinks that we have a deep connection to you, being pitching at Tiger Stadium, really close. We can see Tiger Stadium from the river and hear the fireworks and see the lights. And you've always been a favorite son to Windsor, and we're really happy to have you at this year's WESPY Awards.
Well, it's, I've certainly been through Windsor a lot on my way to Tilbury, where I used a duck camp with my buddy Kurt Gibson, but also back and forth to Toronto a few times for those years that I played with the Jays.
Of course. So we're really looking forward to hearing your stories. Can you share maybe a little bit with us about what we can expect coming up on April the 26th?
Well, we had a coach in Detroit years ago when Sparky was managing. His name was Billy Consolo. He was basically a guy that grew up with Sparky and was his best friend throughout his whole life, really. And Billy played in the major leagues for a few years with the Boston Red Sox. And Billy was quite a character. And he always told us that if you're telling a story, you should say it with conviction, because they might believe you if you're telling a lie. So I hope to be able to say it with conviction and enjoy the whole process. I could go on and on and on and on with stories. It's just really a matter of what the audience would like to hear about, and I prefer to do it that way. I recently did a gathering up in Flint, Michigan, where the whole thing was Q&A. And I think it was the most fun evening I've ever had as far as the public speaking, because the audience got to participate and ask what they wanted. So I know this is a little bit different. I will tell some stories and maybe a few fibs here and there, but for the most part, it's all baseball related.
Well, I got to say that's pretty good advice from Billy. You want to make sure that people believe you, and we can turn the WESPYs into a Q&A as well if you think that's an important thing. But let's get the Q&A started right now. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on the recent WBC championships with Japan beating the USA. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Japan had better pitching. And if you want to win any kind of thing in baseball, you better have the best pitching. It's pretty simple. It was a fun World Baseball Classic, I thought. I got to see the game against Venezuela. Miguel Cabrera was the honorary captain of that team. And it was fun to watch that game. Now, they handled Cuba fairly easy. The U.S. did. But I knew Japan would be a little more challenging because they'd have better pitching, and it shows the thing that's been true with baseball really since the beginning of the game, and that is good pitching usually dominates. And Japan, I think, had a little bit better pitching.
So what's your take on pitchers and complete games? How do you feel about that? Do you get angry if you get pulled? Would you rather go the full 9 innings? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's evolved to what it is. Pitchers are not really complaining. You don't hear guys doing that right now because I think they're conditioned to do exactly what they do, and that is get it deep into the game, fifth, sixth inning, turn it over to the specialist in the bullpen who sets it up for the closer. And, with all that in mind, the game has evolved. I don't think it's going to do anybody any good to look back, reflect, and complain because the game moves on. And I think you have to embrace the way it is. The kids are bigger, stronger, faster. I don't know as though they're more durable because I don't think they're conditioned to be durable. But with that being said, they're max effort guys every pitch, every time, game on right now, everything. So the human body cannot tolerate max effort every single pitch. And that's why they're not going deep into the games and completing games, in my opinion.
Well, and your opinion counts. Like you're going to be the guest speaker here at the WESPY Awards, and a lot of people are going to want to hear what you have to say. Give me your thoughts on being a 14 consecutive opening day starting pitcher.
Well, quite honestly, it's something that isn't brought up a lot, but it's really, in my way of thinking, it's one of the biggest honors I have. One of the highlights of my career is showing that I was durable, that the manager thought enough of me to hand me the ball to start the season every day for 14 straight years. And didn't matter what team I was on, it was always the same thing. So I'm very proud of that. It doesn't come easy. It's not taken lightly. And, I hope it's beat someday, quite honestly. Records are meant to be beat. And I hope somebody gets the opportunity to do that would show that there's, other guys. And I believe somebody could do more than that.
So with your illustrious career, and I use the word illustrious because I think it is, how many people have asked you to be a part of ceremonies like this? And do you think giving back to the community in a ceremony like this is an important thing?
I do. It happens, quite frequently. I would love to do it a lot more now that I'm not in broadcasting anymore. I got a lot more free time and I enjoy it. I enjoy getting out in different communities and getting a sense for what it's like. Sports is here for people, and they can gather and celebrate whatever it is in their community through their sports heroes. And I'd love to be a part of that. I think I take pride in just trying to be a common guy. I think I can relate to all sorts of different societies and people in general, and have something in common with all of them. And therefore I think I'm a guy that understands what people want to hear and feel, and I kind of want to know what they're going through.
Well, thank you for that. Who would you say is the toughest hitter you've ever faced?
Well, I get that question a lot. For one, at bat, it was Carl Yastrzemski because I had no chance ever. I threw 3 balls right down the plate, and the umpire called them all balls, and he hit a double. So, I wasn't going to win. I was a rookie. He was going to the Hall of Fame, and it was a no-win situation for me. But over my whole career, the guy that I faced as much as anybody and probably had the most respect for because he was a phenomenal hitter was George Brett.
Well, there you go. So that's enough questions for me. We got a few local news people in the area that may want to ask a question. If there's some questions out there we might have, but while they're forming their questions, we've been very, very fortunate. I'm not sure how much you're aware of the WESPY Awards, and we started off 16 years ago, well, 18 years ago now, with Pete Rose, and we've had many, many other athletes and notable people here at the WESPY Awards. And I just want to say we're very, very pleased that you have accepted our invitation to come on board and be a part of the WESPYs, because it's people like you that help us grow the sport here in Windsor-Essex. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad to do it. Thank you.
All right, Jack. Well, I want to again say thank you very much for taking the time today and being a part of this press conference. And we're really looking forward to meeting with you and spending some time with you, shaking your hands and sharing you with the sports community here in Windsor-Essex as part of the 16th Annual WESPY Awards. Thank you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right. So continuing on, I'm going to like to bring up Dominic Papa to share a little bit of his infinite knowledge about what's coming up here on April 26th, and we'll be back to close out the ceremony.
Okay, good morning to everybody, and thank you for all those that are here. Thank you to all those that are tuning into the YouTube channel. And also a quick thank you to Jack Morris again for joining us. Very excited to have Jack here, and I think it's going to be a very special night having his participation, and certainly doesn't get any better when you can bring in a Hall of Fame athlete and somebody that's won 4 World Series rings. I'd say that's quite significant. So we're blessed and honored to have Jack coming. The WESPYs, of course, after more than a 2-year hiatus, is finally getting to back to business, and tell you, it's been quite the challenge to get rolling again. It's almost like a reset for us. In fact, that's pretty much how we're treating all of this. And I think with the response that we've had so far, and now with today's press conference to kick it off, I think it'll just get rolling that much faster. But again, we have tremendous partners in our business community that are part of the WESPY Awards, and I can tell you several of them were reaching out to me to see, hey, Dom, is there a WESPY Award coming? WESPYs are coming. So they've really stayed on top of this and stayed interested, and that's again a bonus for us. The sports teams, the sports athletes, same thing. They've all been asking about the WESPY Awards, and I mean, you don't know what you have or realize where you're at until people start coming up to you and asking about it and talking about it and telling you how much they want to see it again. So it's quite humbling, and certainly the WESPYs, I think, have made their mark in our sports community. The athletes, teams, coaches, the GMs all take it seriously. They know it's an important night for our sports community, but more importantly, what it really does, as Mark said earlier, we recognize the accomplishments of our athletes and teams from year to year, but the real big thing about the WESPYs, I think, is that it brings our entire sports community together. It puts us all under one roof. There's over 30 organizations pretty much that get involved with it, teams, things like that. And, getting them all in one building, in one room, and not having any fights that night is pretty impressive and pretty amazing. So it's one night where we get to network. It's a night where we get to share some stories, and it's really a night where we celebrate our sports community. So it's become very special that way. It's become very significant to our sports community. If you're not a big sports fan, though, it's still a great night for you, because when you can bring in a guy like Jack Morris and hear him speak and tell his stories and talk about his amazing accomplishments, it's a night to just take in and come and enjoy. You don't have to be that hardcore sports fan. This is a night that everyone can get something out of and take it with you. I know over the past years with the WESPYs, I've taken something from all of our speakers, and I keep it in the back of my mind, and I use it in my everyday life now. So hopefully the athletes will do that. But again, if you're just a general sports fan and you're kind of thinking about coming, make a point of coming. It's a pretty great night, and you'll meet some tremendous people. So again, we're looking forward to it. The work's being done. The selection committee has been working hard for a few months now. The organizing committee's working really hard and putting together, again, a special night. And, the Kubota Club's the place. It's going to be, that place is second to none in our city. The food's going to be good. The service is going to be great. And overall, it's just going to be, again, as the tradition has grown here, it's just going to get better. It's going to get bigger. And I think, I always say it, we're going in the right direction. So let's continue it. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you there on Wednesday, April 26th. And again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. And I'm sure we'll be talking again soon. Mark?
Thanks, Dom. Just want to remind everybody, tickets go on sale on Friday. April 26th is the date at the Kubota Club. You can get tickets at the WESPYs.ca, and you can get them at Bob Riem Sports. We've been very fortunate. We've had Herman Boone. We've had Nadia Comaneci. We've had Dorothy Hamill. But now we're doing a double Detroit superstars. Herman Moore was at the last one, and Jack Morris is going to be at this one. Pitching ace, Detroit Tigers. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets early because this is going to sell out. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of our press conference today, and we'll see you on April the 26th.